Hey guys, my name's Ryan Waechter and this is my life. Slash coming out story. Now I guess my story begins when I indirectly killed my mom during childbirth. It's okay though, there's no need to feel bad, they managed to revive her thankfully. But I guess you could say things have been crazy right from the start. My family's been pretty small all my life. It's just been me, my sister, my mom, my dad, and whatever animals we happen to have. That's the annoying little dog that we've always had since I was little, whose name's Copper. The first memories I have was when I was 4 years old, and that was when I grew up in a complex. And you might not think that sounds very appealing, but believe it or not, those were the best years of my life. Maybe it's just because when you look back on your childhood, you only think of the good things about it. But the best thing about living in a complex was that there was lots of young kids there. Lots of my friends like to get together and play Pokemon, trade Pokemon cards, play outside, play tag, cops and robbers, whatever. And then it happened. My parents came up to me one day and they said, "Hey, we're moving." And it was devastating as a kid. I had to move schools, I was torn from my friends, and I just had to have a fresh start. I didn't like it. In hindsight, I know it was the best thing for my family. We ended up getting a nice house. And once we moved, my mom wanted to fulfill her lifelong dream of having horses, so we got horses. Her name was Brooks, and she happened to be pregnant with another horse, who we have now is Starbuck. And at that point, it became an addiction for my mom. She ended up getting a horse named Bronson, a horse named Riley, a horse named Duke. And then we sold 2 of them, then Brooks got pregnant again, and then we also got 2 other dogs named Darla and Patch. Our family has just been an entire zoo for years now. So I moved to this new place. I'm not a minority, I'm more of an outcast. I started to be picked on because I like different things than everybody. When I was about 7, my mom got a new job, which is good, but I had to be put into a daycare. And this daycare that I went to was at a church. It was a Christian-based daycare. This period in my life became really confusing for me because this was about the time that I was starting to have these different feelings towards boys that I've never had before, and I had this external pressure where I had to sort of put aside my feelings. For the longest time I was actually praying the gay away because I thought that it would help, because as a young kid, when you grow up in this society, you automatically assume that guys like girls and they're supposed to end up together, and anything different from that is considered kind of abnormal and strange. So I kind of had that mindset growing up, so I was trying to pray this gay away because I was already the minority at my school. I've been picked on for the things that I like, and the last thing I needed was another thing for people to not like me for. I think it's also important to note at this time that during an assembly when we were singing O Canada, there was this one girl who sat next to me, and when I was singing, she said, "Wow, you have a really good voice. You could be like a celebrity one day." And I know she was probably over-exaggerating just to be nice, but that always stuck with me, and it kind of inspired me to start singing in the shower and get better. Now at this point in time, I wasn't disliked by everybody. I didn't exactly have really close friends either, and whenever I did make close friends, we were inseparable. But after a couple years, every single one of them seemed to move away. So at one point, I just kind of gave up. I didn't want to make new friends because I had just thought that they were just going to move away too. So I thought it was easier just to become more independent. And so I started going home for lunch. I started kind of isolating myself from everybody just because it was easier, and I just started excelling more at my academics because I wasn't really having a social life. I was just being more independent, doing things on my own, watching TV whenever I had the chance. I just didn't have anything to do, so I just stayed at home. And then I entered high school. And I wasn't really interested in making friends because I was still in that mindset that people would just leave whenever I got close to them. But even though I tried to build up the sense of comfort that it was okay that I wasn't making friends, deep down it still really hurt. So at this point, I'm going through puberty, I have all these hormones, so I thought I liked these girls, so I started to ask some out. And really, now that I think about it, I didn't have any feelings for them that way. It was just more of me asking them out as a form of I need acceptance from somebody. And then when I got rejected, I didn't feel bad because I didn't have a girlfriend. I felt bad because I still wasn't being accepted by really anybody. I didn't really have anybody I could just talk to. I was lonely. And then I started to make friends. Not human friends, of course. Their names were Cheetos, Oreos, and Ronald McDonald. That's right, I literally began to eat my feelings away, and by the time I was 14, I was 200 pounds, and I was feeling completely awful about myself. At least now I wasn't being made fun of for the things I liked. Now I was being teased because I was known as the chubby kid, which felt worse. And my parents were kind of concerned that I was gaining a lot of weight. They didn't physically say it, but they got me into joining soccer teams and being in karate, which I was in for about 5 years, but none of them were my thing. I hated sports, I loved food, and I was stuck in that medium. And I tried to lose weight, I really did, but because every time I tried, I gave in, I couldn't do it. I hated myself for that because not only was I overweight, but I felt weak because I knew that I wasn't strong enough to change it. And then grade 8 and 9 came along and I joined the drama program, and for the first year or so, I absolutely hated it. Well, I didn't hate it because I didn't like to act. I loved to act, but I was shy, I was self-conscious like you wouldn't believe because of my weight and because I didn't have very many friends. But I stuck with it because when I was a young grade 8 and 9 looking up at the grade 12s that are on stage, they're fully confident in themselves, they're getting lots of laughs, I just wanted to be that. And then Glee started coming on TV and fell in love instantly. I'm just like, wow, I want to do that too. And then I joined the school's choir and I loved it. And a couple months later, I heard over the announcements, auditions for the school musical. And I thought, there's my chance. So I auditioned for Little Shop of Horrors and I managed to get the role of Seymour, who was the lead. This was the turning point of my high school career and I guess almost my life. I began being more confident in myself, I got a new group of friends in the drama department that I'll have for life, and I developed this new passion for acting and singing that I had never had before. About a year later, I got my first girlfriend, who ironically was my romantic interest in Little Shop of Horrors, and I just kind of went with it. My feelings for boys were still prominently there, I had no doubt about that, but I just kind of assumed that it was just a phase, and since I had a girlfriend now, they had just gradually over time fade away. And it turns out I was completely 100% wrong. As the months went by, the feelings didn't go away, and my sort of acceptance of those feelings became stronger and stronger, and I had to end it. I didn't want to keep on lying to her. I still wasn't comfortable with myself at that time because I knew the feelings weren't going away, but I hadn't accepted it in myself yet, so I wasn't confident enough to tell her. And over the summer, I knew my grade 12 year was coming, so over the course of the summer, I lost 40 pounds, I changed my whole wardrobe, I had this whole new confidence in myself that I had never had before. I had finally began to start loving myself, and I thought, you know, I'm ready to come out. So one of my best friends in physics, I sat beside them in the back of the classroom. I wanted to say it, I was gonna be like, yep, I'm gonna tell her today, I'm gonna do it. I get into physics, and the words aren't coming out of my mouth, so I decide, you know what, this is a class, I don't want to disturb the class, so this is a perfect excuse to write a note. So I wrote the note, I wrote, I'm gay. And I held it for about 5 minutes because I was so nervous, I was shaking in my boots. I'm just like, Ryan, what's going on? You're confident, you got this. I thought you were confident in yourself, you're a whole new person now, you can do it. So now by this point, she's looking over at me like, what's wrong with you? I know something's wrong, you want to tell me something, I know you do. So I'm just like, I do, and then she's just like, what's that in your hand? And then she kind of took it out of my hand, and she read it, and her face, I'll never forget, she was like, oh! She had no idea. And in the front of the classroom, my teacher's giving us the little eye, like, what the heck are you guys doing back there? I'm just like, come on, put the note away, she's gonna get it. She didn't end up getting the note, but that day was hilarious. And from that point on, I thought it would just be easy to go and tell other people, so I got another one of my best friends, and we were walking home from one of my friend's house one day, and I was just like, hey, I have something to tell you. And they were just like, oh, what? What's going on? And so I was thinking about what I was going to say in my head, and it was starting to come out of my mouth. I felt it going up through my vocal cords, out my mouth, and I say, I'm bi. Wait, what? I'm bi? And she's just like, oh, that's so great, congratulations. And deep in my mind, I'm just like, oh my God, Ryan, what did you do? You're not bi, what are you doing? And so I just went with it. I had that little fake smile going on, like, the bad poker face, like, yeah, I'm bi. And I did that for the next 3 or 4 people. I still couldn't manage to say the words, I'm gay. And then once I had this sort of mini support group of people supporting my bi-ness, I got enough confidence, and from then on, I started coming out as gay. So a couple months went by, and it was kind of a thing where over time I'm just getting so used to it. I'm so used to my group of friends knowing that I'm gay. It just became a whatever thing. I don't really care who knows anymore. So a couple weeks ago, I came out to my sister. She was completely excited about it. She had no problem with it. And then the day came, and I walked into my parents' room. They were just about to go to bed, and they were just like, "Okay, what's this? You never come to talk to us like this. What's going on?" And then I said it. I said, "I am gay." So I came out to my parents, and they were completely 100% fine with it. And it didn't really sink in for another 2 weeks after that. And like, I'm still going, whoa, I just came out. People know about me. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. My family knew I was gay, my friends knew I was gay, but nobody else did. Nobody at my school. So how did I decide to do it? I made a YouTube video. You could check that out. That was my last week's video, actually. So I guess you could say that I've only been out fully for a week. And here we are today. Now, if I had to name one thing that changed the path of my life so far, it would have to be drama. I can honestly say that I don't think I would be the person I am today if I hadn't joined the drama program and I hadn't met the awesome people and teachers in that program who completely inspired me to change who I was. I was a completely shy kid, hidden in his little turtle shell, afraid to expose himself to the world, and now I'm the complete opposite. And I can only thank the drama program for that, and I encourage anybody who's out there about to go into high school, take drama. It will change your life. So thanks for watching, guys. I know it was a pretty long video, but I appreciate you sticking with it. If you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe, post a comment, and follow me on Twitter. I have a lot of cool stuff planned for the next couple weeks, so stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.